So getting into it, Ted, we got fights coming up this weekend. They're going to be live and free on FS1. Chris Cyborg is taking on the UFC debut, Lansberg, the Elbow Princess. Have you done any research on Lansberg?
I did. I haven't actually seen any tape on her, but she did say that she would have taken the fight at 145. So either she's fearless or she's not that smart. And I don't mean that I mean, she probably is smart, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she's fearless. Then let's go with that. Yeah. Cyborg, I mean, is a terror, is an absolute terror, and Lansberg is coming in at 6 wins, 1 loss. At least you look at this on paper, and you're like, whoa, this is a bit of a mismatch. So it makes you wonder. I mean, obviously it's in Brazil. It's another card that Cyborg can headline. She already did one, right?
Yeah.
She already main evented one. So here's another one. I don't know. I don't know much about Lansberg other than, she's known as the Elbow Princess, but she's got to be able to get in certain positions in order to use those elbows. Yeah. And I'm sure that's not the only weapon in her arsenal, right?
Oh, definitely not. And we usually see Cyborg push forward immediately, but in her debut fight at UFC 198 down in Brazil, we saw a more patient Chris Cyborg. And all the talk, though, Ted, this week, and it wasn't about Ronda Rousey this week when you talked about Chris Cyborg, it was about her weight cutting right now. She was 165 Saturday night, Sunday morning, I think, and that's 25 pounds that she's going to have to lose to make 140 pounds. She was just on UFC Tonight at 9 o'clock. I listened for everybody in case any of you guys missed it, whether at work or wherever you were. And she's saying that no one should be worrying about it, that she's got it. Everything's going to be fine. She has some of the best people behind her, and it has to do most likely with the birth control that she's on. I'm pretty sure I got that straight. Have you heard anything on this, though, Ted? And do you think this is a huge factor considering her last fight? She had that video of her crying when she was doing the weight cut.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was under the impression that George Lockhart, who is her nutritionist, I thought he was the one that told her she needed to get on the birth control because that was going to help her lose the weight.
Oh, is that what it was said? I thought
that was my understanding.
You might be right. I might have mixed it up because I thought it was saying that the birth control is what's holding the water in. She's on birth control, and that's why it's harder for her to lose the weight because it's absorbed all the water. But I might be completely wrong. I think you're right with that.
That was my understanding, that he was telling her she needed to do this. So I don't think her. I mean, I don't think her boyfriend's gonna have a problem with that. I think she's still with Ray Elby.
Oh yeah,
I think so. Yeah, Magical Ray Elby. He's the guy. You might remember this one. He's the guy a few years ago. He's a former fighter. I don't think he fights anymore, but I believe he was in Thailand, and was in the middle of things, and his member was injured. You don't remember this story?
No, I don't.
I don't know how to say this. You got a broken penis, and seriously, and then he started going into shock. I think he said he started bleeding. He started going to the he was heading to the bathroom, and I guess he tripped. He nailed his chin. He cut himself on the chin. And it was like this big. You got to hear the guy explain it because I'm not doing it justice. But
dude, you don't even just the whole point and moral of that story was God.
Just an absolutely horrific thing that happened to him. But the silver lining is his equipment is all good.
So if she does take the birth control, your point is that he's gonna have a fun night after she brings home that W, hopefully. But My thing here is Ted. I didn't really know much about Lansberg, but I do know one thing. I have a huge crush on her right now. She's definitely a really pretty girl, and I was watching
yeah.
some clips of her. Man, she's a dangerous woman. So I'm interested to see how she's going to handle the pressure of her UFC debut as a main event in Brazil against Chris Cyborg.
Right, that's a lot to take on.
That's a crazy welcoming party to join the UFC.
Jody's laughing at you. She's like, Eddie thinks she's hot. LOL.
She is. She's pretty.
Yeah, but but what about that Russian girl? I thought you were really digging that Russian girl, the kickboxer.
Who? Valentina Shevchenko?
Yeah. I thought she was your girl.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I got a new crush here tonight. But yeah, also on the card, Ted, Paul Felder going up against Trinaldo, and of course all the listeners know. And if there's any new listeners, definitely check out the interview below. I got to speak with Paul Felder about his upcoming fight for UFC Brasilia Brazil, Fight Night 95. And he told me that he can promise us one thing, Ted, that he promises that he's going to go in there and he's going to throw down with that son of a bee. And that all the pressure isn't on Paul, that all the pressure is going to be on Trinaldo because it's him fighting in his hometown. He's there to put on a show.
Well, that's awesome to hear. And I've interviewed Paul. You've interviewed Paul. Great guy. He's from Philadelphia originally. Trains with Cowboy Cerrone, and that's an interesting take on that. That all the pressure is on the hometown favorite. But that it tells me that he's not feeling any pressure, and that's a good way to walk into the cage.
Well, tonight Tyrone Woodley said, because they do their weekly fighter to watch for this next event, Tyrone Woodley picked Paul Felder to be the fighter to watch for this event. Paul's coming in here though as an underdog though, guys. So I just wanted to mention that this is a huge fight. Paul, every time he comes into a fight, he's there to throw down. Great leg kicks. Trinaldo has great leg kicks. It's going to be one hell of a fight. After that, though, Ted, we got Roy Nelson versus Bigfoot. And they're actually selling it as Roy Nelson versus Bigfoot on the TV for the first time. It's not Roy Nelson versus, what the hell is his real name?
Antonio Silva.
Yeah, Antonio Silva. They're promoting it as Bigfoot.
Right. Nah, I mean Bigfoot Silva. Yeah. Oh, you mean he's fighting Sasquatch? Oh.
That's what they're saying. Well, that's not what they're saying, but they're saying Roy Nelson versus Bigfoot. And I've never seen him do it like that before.
Oh, okay. I guess they figure really the only people who are going to be watching this fight are the hardcores like us, and we know who Bigfoot is.
Yeah. Well, with a name like Bigfoot, it might attract a newer audience if they don't know who Bigfoot is. Of course, if you don't know who Bigfoot is, he beat Fedor at one point. He's actually been on one hell of a loss streak lately, though. He just got knocked out after 17 seconds for Stefan Struve a couple months back. So if he loses here, Ted, what do you think is going to happen to him?
What will this put it at? How many losses in a row?
Well, how many losses in a row would it be in the first round? I think he had 4 losses in the first round in his last 5 fights. So if he loses this fight again, I think they might book him off from Coconut Creek back to Brazil. I don't know.
Wow, because he's been in the UFC for quite a while.
Yeah, he actually has that disease. What's the name of that disease? Giantitis, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, where because if you look at his face, he has an elongated face, and I think Andre the Giant had it, and Giant Baba, who was a professional wrestler in Japan, he had the same disease.
Yeah, man, it's going to be one hell of a fight. Roy Nelson, of course, his last fight was against Derek Lewis in that crazy back-and-forth battle that a lot of people thought Roy won, a lot of people thought Derek won. This is going to be one hell of a fight, though, especially this card's for free and all these big names that are on it, Ted. What's going on in the chat room?
Oh, I was just saying bye to Jody. I spelled her name wrong, too. I spelled it Japodi instead of Jody.
Well, thank you so much, Jody, tonight for giving us that live update. I really do appreciate that. I hope you have a great night. We'll be talking to you later tonight. Shout out to the rest of the Pure Evil Army. Jody's really the glue. Jody's like the mom bear holding everyone together.
Mama bear.
The mama minion in the Pure Evil Army soldiers.
So yeah, you were saying that, or you were. See, I got to tell you, I'm just got to be totally honest with you, Eddie. When I see Nelson versus Bigfoot, I mean, in one sense, I'm not really excited about it because I don't think either one of these guys is going to make a run at the title. But other than that, it's a fun fight because somebody's going to get knocked out. I don't think it's going to go past the first round. These guys are going to throw down, and somebody's. I mean, I don't like to see. I hate to hear about people getting knocked out, but on the other hand, it's going to be an exciting fight.
Well, yeah,
and that's what excites me. You know, it's going to be an exciting fight. It's going to be a fun fight. Who cares? In the end, who cares whether they're going to go for the title or not? It's two guys that are going to throw down.
And I'm going to say it again, Ted. We have been absolutely spoiled lately with these free cards. These are A-listers in my book for the UFC. Paul Felder, Trinaldo, Roy Nelson, Bigfoot Silva, getting into the co-main event. Renan Barão versus Philip Nover. I actually got to speak with Philip Nover, the RN. That is on Cage-Side Submission, so if there's any new listeners out there that want to check that out, just search on iTunes Cage-Side Submissions, and that is the episode 2 weeks ago, so definitely check it out. He seems like he's pumped up and ready here, that a lot of the pressure, he's saying, is on Barão here.
Well, Barão has lost his last 2, so I would say there is some pressure on Barão. I mean, that guy was a killer. He was the interim champion. He was the bantamweight. He had the regular title too. I remember he actually defended the bantamweight title. And he was the champion. And then T.J. Dillashaw came along. But Barão was he had one hell of a run, one hell of a win streak going there. So hopefully this is a return to the Barão of old. You know, the absolute killer.
Well, that's what we were all expecting in his last fight against Jeremy Stephens. And then, of course, at the weigh-ins, then Barão kind of walked into him and Stephens shoved him and he went flying. And we were like, uh-oh. Because remember, Barão moved up a weight class.
Oh, hold on a sec. Brooklyn Elite says, do we want a Wonder Boy interview? Do we ever? I'm sure he will email me. Please, he just got to Long Island. I will see him at the gym. I mean, Brooklyn, if you can set that up, absolutely. We would love to talk with Wonder Boy.
Man, I would die to talk to Wonder Boy.
Heck yes.
Rep to Brooklyn. Shout out to the East Coast.
That's very interesting. I guess he's traveling around to different places, Wonder Boy, because I know he trains at TriStar in Quebec. But you know these fighters, sometimes they'll jump to another camp for a couple weeks,
and that's good.
Get a different look.
Sometimes you might feel plateaued somewhere, you know.
Sure. Yeah. You get with some different fighters, get some different looks. So maybe that's what's going on, or maybe he's doing like a seminar or something too. I don't know. But Brooklyn, if you can do that, if you can help us out, that would be awesome.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. And also, hopefully I'll be talking with another UFC fighter that is going to be on this card. I don't want to announce it yet, but I've been talking with them. So make sure you guys follow me and Ted both on Twitter and on Facebook, but mostly on Twitter. You can find me at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. And of course, you can find this guy right up here on Twitter as well. He's been getting on a little more lately, so you can find him at Ted Check. That's not CHUCH. That's TEDCZECH.
That's Rhonda.
Ted, I want to know what some of our listeners think. Me and you have been working on making somewhat of an intro for our podcast. What are some suggestions for kinds of music that you guys would like to hear as our intro theme music? I just throwing it out there. Any recommendations, just hit us up in the chat room. But yeah, Ted, Renan Barão versus Philip Nover. What's your pick here?
Barão. Definitely Barão.
You didn't even have to think about it. Damn.
No, yeah. I mean, Nover. I think back to a couple years ago when Nover was in Bellator and he took on, oh my God, Daryl Horcher. Whew. Took on Daryl Horcher. Daryl Horcher, the guy who jumped in and took on Habib Nurmagomedov on short notice.
Great
But
fighter.
Daryl Horcher has some hands of stone. Nover's technique was to take him down repeatedly. He's probably gonna try that with Barao, but I don't think he's gonna succeed. That's gonna be his game plan. Barao's just gonna just kick him and kick him and kick him.
And he's unpredictable too. You got to watch out for Barao. He was looking sharp in the Jeremy Stephens fight and proved that he has a chin, if you ask me. I mean, he was just landing crazy shots on Barao, and he was just eating them back and forth. He was hungry to really make his comeback. I mean,
well, I think it starts here. I think it starts here with Nover. I mean, no offense to Nover. He's from the East Coast. He's in New York, and it's awesome. That he's a nurse. He's an emergency room nurse. So is my wife. So
is my mom.
That's awesome. But I'm just saying, looking at it objectively, I think Barao's going to win.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Of course, Nover coming in this as the underdog. That reminds me of a cool little fact, and I announced this on the podcast to all my listeners the second time, but I had to tell you, Ted, because it just stood out to me. Of the last 28 UFC main event underdogs, 14 of them won using closing lines.
So 50%.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Half.
Oh. Right down the middle.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely a little fun fact to throw out there. But yeah, well, so getting into our main event, unless there was anything else that you wanted to say on there, let's just turn in the page.
No. Well, with main event, you mean Cyborg versus Lansberg?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead. I go ahead.
Well, we touched on it at the beginning, but I'm going to give you my prediction really quick on this. I think that this fight, you guys might actually see Cyborg go into a second round with Lansberg. I think Lansberg is going to have a game plan here and really put on a show. Cyborg having a little trouble with the weight. We don't know what to really expect from her because of that. But every time she goes in there, she has hands of concrete, hands of stone, like you just said. That was just stuck in my head. But her ground and pound is absolutely vicious, but you have to watch out for the elbows of the elbow princess. So I'm interested to see what happens here. Of course, a lot of fighters have tried this in the past with Cyborg, trying to get her in the clinch. She just breaks right out of it and just throws these solid punches that just drop girls. And I'm just interested to see what happens here because of the last fight. She was a little more patient than normal. Even though it had ended in one exchange, she was a little more patient than we would usually see in a Chris Cyborg fight. And we've seen Cyborg lose before in the past against a Muay Thai fighter of Jarina Bars. We have a kickboxer here of Lansberg. It's just my thought, but I think Cyborg's going to go up the win.